Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Monday, first day of May, fifth day of Iyar. Here we go. We were in the middle of a unit on whether or not a person is allowed to put himself into danger. Sometimes we say Shomer P'sayim Hashem, Hashem protects the fools, and sometimes we say that's in kind of normalish situations, like you're allowed to drive a car. And if cars are a little bit dangerous, we hope for Hashem's protection. But to put yourself in extra danger on purpose is, those are the questions we're dealing with now. So now to the next quite delicate decision, which is, and certainly even before I start talking, all of today's decisions, most of them you're going to want to discuss with your rabbi, and I'm not deciding them for you because they're delicate. Here it is. Let's say you're a 18 or 19-year-old studying in Israel. You're learning in a yeshiva or a seminary, and God forbid war breaks out in Israel. Your parents are worried and they tell you to come home. Okay? So, you have the mitzvah of studying Torah, you have the mitzvah of listening to your parents. Generally speaking, if your parents ever tell you to violate a commandment, you don't have to listen to your parents when they're telling you to like eat a piece of pork. But this situation is not exactly the same because yes, you're learning Torah, you can learn Torah in America. Yes, you're in Israel and you can fulfill that mitzvah perhaps later. So you see how delicate it is. Your parents believe that you're in danger. You say, Mom, Dad, calm down, I'm not in danger. And it becomes a very, very delicate thing. And you're not going to catch me saying, oh, one way or another. It is hotly debated amongst all the rabbis what a person should do in such a situation. What I will tell you is that if the parents' peace of mind is being ruined and they're like going crazy, mentally from having their child be in Israel during such a scary time, then there are rabbis, I read this in Rabbi David Leibowitz's book called Halachically Speaking, then there are rabbis who say that you should come home because although you may not need it and although they, but see, they're not asking you to help their mental health. And for that, you might have to come home. Certainly, you should discuss this with big rabbis, but I'm just pointing out that it falls under our rubric of our discussion. Whenever a person is in danger, he has to calculate each side of the equation. Okay, I want to be learning Torah in Israel. I want to be listening to my parents. A Jew's not supposed to put himself in undue danger. Is this undue danger? And you need to speak to your rabbi. I just want you to know that this is the kind of question you need to think about. Next question would be a soldier who is stepping into the Israeli military. He's going into the army at a time of, let's say it's a peaceful time. If you can call these years in Israel peaceful, which in itself is a big question because a lot of the people around Israel are at war with them sort of kind of at all times. So, but in peaceful times, it's a bit of a question because the person who's joining the army is putting himself in a certain amount of danger when who says the people needed the protection. That's if you call today in Israel peaceful. We know that there are terrorists looking to smuggle stuff across checkpoints all the time, and soldiers are checking those checkpoints. So the one thing you'd have to discuss with your rabbi already is nowadays in Israel called peaceful time, or does it have a status of war, kind of, sort of, because we're always checking for, many soldiers are checking dangerous stuff at checkpoints to make sure that we all stay safe in Israel. So again, this needs to be discussed with the rabbi and the family and everything. When it's a wartime, God forbid, then people like the Tzitz Eliezer lean much more towards saying you are allowed to be in the army. The tzibur is in danger. And if the Jewish tzibur, the Jewish congregation, is in danger, then people are needed to protect them. And at a time like that, it's more understandable that people should be put in danger because if no one puts themselves in danger, the people of Israel will not be protected. So that too needs to be discussed with great rabbis when you're making personal decisions on things like that. I'm talking about where you're volunteering for the Israeli army. I'm not getting into the thorny question of evading the draft. That too, people should, that argument goes way higher than me, and great people are discussing that. You're welcome to discuss it with all sides of that argument. I wouldn't dare step into that argument. Just these are the kinds of matters that you should discuss with your family, your rabbi, a rabbi who knows and understands all this very well. And these are the types of issues that you'll be discussing. And now to easier stuff, although it's still scary. Let's say you work for a kosher agency and they want to send you to a faraway country to look out over a certain ingredient, and that country is considered scary. Can you be perhaps told not to go there? Perhaps yes. Well, obviously the kosher agency has some good rabbis. You have some good rabbis. Your family should be consulted, and everybody should think out very carefully whether we need to supervise that kosher product, but we need to keep this mashgiach safe. So maybe he shouldn't be in that country right now. These things need to be discussed. I'm not giving you rendering decisions. People much greater than I should be rendering these decisions. Easier stuff to discuss is the Shach says that you should not put money in your mouth. Some people say it's because of the germs. The Kaf HaChaim says also because you might swallow the coins, and therefore, long before us, it has been a Jewish law to not put money in your mouth. For that matter, a lot of poskim say don't put any small item in your mouth that's not a food item because it could be swallowed, God forbid. And lastly, you should not go under shaky bridges, shaky ladders, or a ruined building or anything like that, not because of superstition, but because you're not allowed to put yourself in danger, and it's a shaky ladder, shaky bridge, shaky whatever. Please be careful of those situations too. Thanks for logging on. Any lingering questions on any of these ginormous matters, please discuss them with a good rabbi, much bigger than I. I just wanted to introduce the question to you. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.